Hello everybody, it's Spazless here, and welcome back to another episode of Infinite Skies. And I've been doing a few things around here. Mainly just all the cleaning up work that I've had to do since I've got AE. So, in particular, we've got a spinning sheep up there. Interesting. But in particular, I have changed over all of these machines to now be using AE rather than the logistics pipes. And that took quite a while to get all those recipes in and so on. And there are a few things that I want to show you about this. For some reason my jetpack's not making sound at the moment. It seems to be one of those things that turns off every now and again. But yes. Okay, so we've got some magma crucibles here, and each one of these is set up with an input. So this one is ender pearls and a level emitter to keep a whole bunch of ender fluid. What is it called again? Resonant ender or what have you in the system. And this one, I think I've got then redstone, destabilized redstone, that is energized glowstone, and the gelid cryothium. So that we'll always have those fluids on hand. This one's my snowball maker. So you need lots of snowballs, particularly for the gelid cryothium. It's the easiest way to get that, since I'm not actually getting those the blizzards spawning in the world. Then I've got these fluid transposers, each which is already pre-populated with a bunch of each of those fluids. And so then I can just have recipes set up in here, like the flux electrum blend, for example. It just has to put in an electrum grit into there, and that will then put out the flux electrum blend. This will then create more destabilized redstone and fill the machine back up. The other thing about these is you still seem to, with the thermal foundation ones, we had to put back in the integrated servo to get it to output the items. You still seem to need to use two sides, which is a bit of a pain, but that's all set up there. And with the industrial craft ones, you have to put in one of these ejectors, so it will actually output the items into the ME interface so they can go back into the system. Now, I had these industrial craft machines next to each other, and I don't know whether that would have worked properly for me or not, but I decided to space them out for a particular reason. With this, it says automatically output to the first valid side. Now, I don't know what that means. Is the back the first side, or is it going to output randomly to a side? I don't know, so I decided to space those machines out. Hopefully they can't put them into the thermal expansion machines which haven't got those sides opened up. And over here I've just left gaps between them. So all of my nuclear production facilities over here is also set up to be on the AE network. And yeah, these are just other machines for doing certain things. What are these ones? Yeah, making different alloys and so on. So over at the nuclear facility, the reactors, these are also now all set up with AE. And to do that, I ran out one of these cables which had a P2P tunnel. That's then got a dense cable with the three sides coming off. 18 channels in total, because I'm using 2 channels on each of these machines. We have, on the back, there's an import bus, which I needed a capacity card. I probably didn't need this actually, but this was just so that I could specify the 2 different types of fuels that I might be using in the system. This is then an export bus, which has a this one's the uranium quad fuel rod, and it's got a crafting card in it. And that means that this will try to fill up any of these slots that empty out in here, either with items that are in the inventory already, or it will go and craft them. So that will then request all the stuff to be done over there. I've decided not to keep them pre-crafted. They seem to be fast enough with my setup at the moment. Exactly the same here for the mocks, by the way. But I think now, as far as I'm aware, this jetpack is really fast. As far as I'm aware, I've got all of the A2 crafting sorted out. So I think I can rip out all of this. I'm going to have to double check that at some point to make sure that I'm not missing anything. But we have now, in particular in our fluids, we've got, I decided to have 100 buckets of each of those. For some reason I've got a whole lot more glowstone than what it probably should have, but oh well. Same with the resin ender, 100 buckets, and so on. We've got a huge amount of rocket fuel. I was going up to 1,000 buckets on that, but I decided that was actually a bit overkill. I didn't need that much right now. If I have to, I can always up that later. Our resources seem to be coming along pretty well, but today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the MFR harvester. So I want to set up some of these up in the farms so that we can get all of the farming goodness going on. There are lots of things that we can harvest. We can get better food. I'm still on to the apple sauce at the moment. And yeah, too much apple sauce is a bit upsetting for the stomach. So let's look at this. We're going to need a bunch of these. In fact, 6 harvesters. Okay, so dark axes, not a problem. We should be able to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll need 12 of these. 7, 8, 9, 10. Need more dark steel. Dark steel, that is one of the things that I can autocraft. Let's get that going. That actually reminds me, because dark steel uses silicon, and that reminds me of something else I set up that I think I'll show you, because it's very interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'll put all those back in the system, and I'll keep 2 of them on me to put into the recipe. But let's go have a look at how I'm getting my silicon. So if I get some clay here, stack of clay. So there are a couple of different ways of making silicon in this pack. Silicon. You can sag mill clay, or redstone ore, or sand. And there's a 50% chance when you use sand to get a silicon. If you use one of these, I'm not sure what this slot's called, but one of these things here, you get a better chance of getting the output, so 150% of the main output. But with this, you actually get 10% chance there, 80% chance of silicon. If we are getting a increase in that, then 150% chance there, you can get 3 clay balls back and a, what is it there, 200% bonus output, and a 20% chance of a 4th one, which almost makes back your clay, and you get a whole lot of silicon. So what I've got is up here, it's actually set up under the floor, so let's get down. Oop, stuck in the wall. Over here, I've actually got 2 machines here, but this one here, now that's my niter one, I'll show you that in a second too. This one here takes clay, makes clay blocks, and we've got a sag mill here which has got some dark steel balls in it, and we output clay balls up this way, and this sag mill is pulling in from this side and outputting to that side as well. And the crafter here also outputs downwards into the sag mill. So I can just drop a bunch of clay in there. That will get pulled into the machine. It will produce silicon and more clay balls. The clay balls drop in here, go up into here, get crafted back into clay blocks, and go back in here. And for a stack of clay, you can get a lot of silicon coming through. And it's a nice little machine. It doesn't take up too much room, and it just runs away, gets me a bunch of silicon. This one's basically the same with sand, making sandstone. When you pulverize sandstone, you get a chance of niter, and so that just processes through. Pulverizing the sand gets you sand again, which is then changed back into sandstone, which gets pulverized again, and getting more and more niter that way. So those are two resources that at the moment I'm just dropping them in whenever I need something, but I could probably set up something so I've got a certain amount all the time for those. But back to our harvesters. So, harvester. We are going to need 6 of these Z logic controllers, Solarium, Zombie Head, Silicon, and Redstone. I haven't set up auto crafting for this machine yet. I will do that sometime soon, I think. Now, I have actually put in a dark axe into this. I was using an iron axe. The only problem is the iron axe has only got a 1 durability, so you end up with having to use a new iron axe for every single one. The dark axe, I mean, 1,500 of them before you have to put a new axe in. I think that's a much better deal. I do like the fact that you can shift click these into there. And here's the 6th one. We can now go back up to our crafting table, drop those in, and what are we missing? Are we missing anything anymore? Machine chassis. Now, I think I should be able to craft these up. 6, not a problem. And do we have everything now? Shares. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good-o. Shouldn't make more than 6 if I click on that. Of the last 2 X's. There we go. And we have 6 of the harvesters. Okay, so where am I going to set those up? Up at the farm, which is over here. My animals keep on getting out, and I think it's a problem that Minecraft has. If the animals are next to the fence when I load up the game, then it can put them one side or the other of the fence. It is a bit of a pain. So each of these, if I place this down, which way is it going to face? Okay, that's the way I want it to face. It's going to harvest out that way. Each of them by default do a 3x3 area, but I am going to increase the range of that. 4, 5, 6. I think it's there is the next one, and then there, and they are then going to be matched on this side. Yeah, I haven't left myself a lot of room here, but oh, jeez. All of a sudden I'm shooting off down the path. Okay, last one there. Now I do obviously have a lot more work to do around here to set up the rest of the gardens, and I've got more crops to do as well. But let me get this wired up a little bit and then come back to see where it's at. Okay, I've got that wired up now, and I'll show you how the wiring's done in just a couple of minutes once I've shown you this side of it. So I've got the harvesters all set up here, and they export behind them. And they're exporting directly into this ME interface, which will then send it directly into the system. Let's not show those on our interface terminal downstairs because we're not going to be setting up recipes in these ones. This is just for the items to go back into the system. Now, how do we exactly see what area it's harvesting? Well, that's where this handy little tool comes in, the precision sledgehammer. So, yeah, it's for knocking big holes in walls or something? No, it's actually really good with these Mine Factory Reloaded ones. It shows you the area that a certain machine covers. So this one you can see the 3x3 area. I've made up these iron ones which increase the radius by 3, which should then do that entire 9x9 area there. And you can see it's harvested them all pretty quickly. I might need to do something with the sludge in the end. I'll have a look into that. But I can just chuck one of those in there. I wouldn't have thought they would have stacked. I don't know what that even does. But put one of those into each of those, and that will then mean that it's going to be able to do the whole area. Good stuff. So now we are going to have constant crop harvesting, and we're going to get lots of all of this stuff. That one's mature. I'm assuming it's going to come harvest that in just a minute. There we go, harvested. Okay, so that's all very good. We've got our harvesting all going. Okay, we're going to probably have to sort out the sludge issue in a bit. I wonder whether a fluid import bus or something like that might help me there. But how did I get this wired up? Well, I have run this purple glass cable all the way down to our AE area, and that one is bringing up a set of P2P tunnels. We've got one should be on each floor as we go up. We might need to add in an extra one on certain floors at certain times, but this floor's P2P tunnel is connected up down below, and now we've got 4 channels being used here. So those are the 3 interfaces there and the 1 terminal. So this just goes along and connects up to those. Again, I've got power coming down here, which is just from our test rack. I've got a power store out and power store in now. And yeah, that's a pretty simple little setup. I'm going to probably set up more for like our tree farms and stuff like that, but that will be later. Oh, let's put hover back on. I turned that off because these things here can be a little bit of pain. As you walk over them, it puts you up a little bit, and then now I'm hovering and I start going all over the place. So, what is the next thing for us to do? Well, I'm going to have to sort out the rest of this garden, but I'll do that off camera. I am noticing in my world that I'm getting a bit of lag, and I think part of that might have been to do with the logistics side of things, that all the objects being rendered was causing some problems. I also turned off this matter fabricator because I was wondering if that was a problem. See, it gets quite laggy in this particular area, but also possibly all of this processing might also be causing an issue, and the smelting side of things. So I was considering whether to move some of that stuff out to a different dimension, and I'm not 100% sure if this works in this pack, but the last millennium is available here, or is part of the pack, and there's a way to get to it. Now, how do you do that? Portal to the last millennium. Burnt quartz, carved eminence stone. Okay. That might not actually be a problem. Let's see. Last millennium. So this one, okay, got that. Burnt quartz. Pure nether quartz. Oh no, I'll just do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have to go smelt that. A clock. That certainly is not a problem. So all we have to do is smelt up this these quartz blocks. No, that's my metal former nowadays. They will go back down into the system. I've never actually been to this before, but I think it's pretty much a an empty dimension all of the time, so I'm not sure. Let's see. Where should I put this? Here. Do I just right click on it? Yes. And here we are. Interesting. There's the last villager. Who doesn't do a lot. Okay, mobs can spawn. Let's stop that. I don't know what's under this floor, so I better be careful of where I put down torches. One in each of these spots. Okay, my jetpack has got plenty of fuel. I have hover on, so let's just see. Okay, bedrock under there. Okay, so I can... yeah, I can build some stuff here. Probably what I'll do is build out some of the automated ore processing and collection stuff here to get it out of my main dimension, so that hopefully that helps with the lag issue. But I'll do that off camera, because it's just going to be, I mean, let's see, right click. It's just going to be, probably I'll build a much larger version of, if we go have a look, well, probably that. I might use machines instead of smelteries, and a much larger version of this ore collection system. But anyway, that will be all for this episode. I think next time, well, I'll show you what I've done in the last millennium at that point. I don't know how far I'll be along with that, but next time, what should we do? I have a feeling that magic might be something that we want to get into. I especially want a magnet, and that my favourite magnet is the Britannia one, so yep, I'll go for that. We get our magic setup going up, and that will be one level up from here. So until then, I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again later. Bye!